All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
How are you?
Hey, who wants to help me get this recorder out of here? I need some muscle over here.
You're listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello. How are you guys doing? Welcome to Blame Your Brother. This is episode 240, and we are streaming the show live right now on YouTube at youtube.com/blameyourbrother. So come hang out with us. Fun chat, fun group of people that hang out regularly. We'd like you to be one of those. You can listen to us talk for the next hour or so. Many things to talk about today. We're going to talk about Bill Cosby, Britney Spears, and tonight, thanks to Adam Pewitt, we are doing the Mount Rushmore of Guitar Players. And we'll get to that when we get there because, I have many thoughts about that. So it's going to be fun to talk about that. But, we'll get started like we always do. There's two of us that come to you every week. I'm one half of that duo. I am David, a.k.a. D-Brew, voice of the people, Mr. 40% Glenn Jackson, spiritual midget. And this gentleman sitting over here to the left, it's my friend. It's John.
Hey, everybody, John here, a.k.a. Tico, a.k.a. Mr. Groupon, Mr. PTI, the Madman.
They got John Tortorella, a madman. They do have a madman. Okay, he's a madman.
There we go. All right, so we got Rob and Glenda in the chat already. More people will roll in, so thank you guys for hanging out with us. Hit that like button if you want to do that. If not, that's all right. That's fine as well. All right. So, yeah, a lot to discuss, a lot going on this week. It is the 4th of July weekend, right? It is on the weekend.
It's on Sunday.
Okay, Sunday. So, yeah, so we'll get to that. But, John, what's going on with you this past week? Anything new? Any good tales? Any good stories?
I mean, no one's called me a racist in the past few weeks, so I think I'm pretty good.
Oh, there you go. So I went to the Sounds Game on Thursday and had a blast.
Rocking the Sounds hat.
I got the Sounds hat. My son had went to a game. I'm going to tell you some stupid things I've done. So if you feel like you're stupid, I'm going to make you feel smart tonight because I did something that was incredibly stupid. It involved electronics. Nothing I can't run for office for doing. But my son had went to a Sounds Game with a friend of his, and the friend's parents bought him like a hat. Now, these hats are like $30+ I was like, whoa. But anyway, the hat was a little bit too big for me. It almost fit, but it was a little bit too big. So I don't know why he got it because it didn't fit him at all. Obviously, I have a larger head than my son. But I'd read tips, and I get into stuff online, and I really get into it. So I was reading all these blogs, how to shrink a hat. And this one was like, we'll put it in the washing machine on very hot, do that for it listed the amount of time. I don't know what it was. And then put it in the dryer. And I was like, all right. So I did that and it did shrink. I was like, all right, work. But the bill of the hat became mush. And I was like, I can't do that. I can't wear a hat. You know me, I wear hats every week. I'm a hat connoisseur, I believe. And I was like, I can't do that. So I was dreaming of going there to get this hat. So I went to the game, got the hat. I love baseball games. I think as far as a sport you can go to, I like going to baseball better than football.
Really?
And I can say it because we don't have a baseball, like a major league team. So, I mean, it's fair to me to say I like it better because I don't do it as often, But I just think, I talked about going on the lake and there's just that vibe of just carefree, relaxing. I feel the same way at a baseball game. I'm just so relaxed. You can just sit there. The environment's just to sit there and chill out, just watch the game. If you want to get up and walk around, you can still do it. You're not like a football game. If you get up on like a crucial play, that could be the entire game.
Yeah.
Baseball is a very slow sport. You can miss important moments, but so I love it. I love I don't go to enough Sounds Game because it's far away. It costs a lot of money to go to a Sounds Game. Like the tickets aren't that much, but food is a lot of money. Yeah. And for a family of 5, it is a lot of money. So we spent some money, but we got in for free and they gave us some money. So it was cool. And I left. It's on a weekday and I had all my kids with me. So I had to leave. I was leaving. The Sounds were losing. I found out the next day they came back and won in like the 9th inning. So I was like, oh, but that's fine. It's fine. I love that.
Talk about getting up, walking around on a crucial play.
I know, right? So yeah, we walked out, but it was fun. I like it. What I did, it was really stupid. I'm a GoPro fan. I've loved the GoPro cameras since they came out. And I have the GoPro 7. They're up to the 9. They release a different number like every couple years. They do different stuff, I just thought in my head, what would be an awesome video? And now I see why there's no videos of this as I do this. We were making s'mores in the microwave. You already know where this is going. I thought if I could put the GoPro, because the marshmallows swell up when you put them in the microwave. It's like the Stay Puft marshmallow. You already know where this is going. It's like a good stand-up bit. You already know the joke. Let's get to it. So I said, I'm going to put the GoPro in the microwave. This is going to be awesome. I put it in there for 1 second, and I heard just the explosion of like circuits just being fried instantly. And I hit stop, and I just hear my wife, who's in the next room, go, "Did you just put that in the microwave?" And I went, "Oh no." My 2 kids come down later and go, "You put that in the microwave?" And I was like, okay, I get it. I'm a moron. I get it. I have moments of stupidity. I will claim this. I do some stupid things sometimes. So the weird thing is it still worked. It still recorded. What? It still recorded, but I think it fried the Wi-Fi. So the big thing with GoPro is you can connect it to your phone, and you can do, So but honestly, I bought it refurbished, and the Wi-Fi was always spotty anyway. So I was like, was it that? I don't know. I don't know. It was acting a little bit wonky for sure. But I found out if you sign up for this GoPro Plus thing, it's like $50 a year. So I was like, that's not that bad. They will replace your GoPro for like a very, very huge discounted rate. So that GoPro I had is probably like $300. They were going to replace it for $70. So I'm in $120, basically a new unit. So I did that. And with the GoPro Plus, you get unlimited camera storage. So I mean, that's kind of cool, and I like it a lot. So I'm going to start uploading stuff there. But that was an idiot moment of the week. I just, And we are back. Oh, and okay, well, I'm recording on the PC anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, we're back. That was weird, man.
That was weird.
That was very bizarre. As I'm telling that story, literally, the board goes out.
Did you put the Rodecaster in?
I put the Rodecaster in the microwave. That should be the name of the episode. That was weird. Okay, well, anyway, we are back. And if you're listening on the podcast, I will edit it where it just cuts in. But that the board we had just magically turned off, and I don't know. So there we go. Oh, bad luck follows me. Apparently, the electronics they're upset at me.
He got away with something. We need to even the
you must
universe.
Die. All right. Well, there we go. That's a stupid thing I did this week. I'm trying to think. Was anything else happen this week? No, I think the big thing is just 4th of July is coming up. This weekend, it's a busy weekend for me. Friday night, I'm going out to my mother. If you first time ever listening, my mother passed away in March, and we had a memorial at the time, but we're having a celebration of life for her. We're going to go out to her. She has her and her husband have a property out on the Buffalo River. And it's a very cool little place. You can go down. It's kind of chill, little lot. You chill out. We're going to go down there, just take some time to remember her and spread some of her ashes in the area near the river. They love to kayak and do all those things. So that's going to be fun. So Friday, I'm going to camp out at this site with my 2 boys. My wife and daughter are going to come meet us up on Saturday. We're going to have the ceremony. And then Sunday, we're doing 4th of July. Normally, we go into Nashville to watch the fireworks. But this year, our subdivision, these people are insane in the good way. Like if any of them listening, this is a huge event happening in our subdivision. I mean, they're having floats, they're having huge fireworks, food, all that. So that's what I'm going to be doing this year. So I'm looking forward to it. I do live around some pretty cool people. They're all pretty chill. They're all, like I've kind of said hello, met some of them, and they're all really nice people. So I'm definitely, I'm looking forward to that. So, I mean, do you have any big 4th of July plans this year?
Usually we go out to my sister's house to do fireworks with her and her boys. I'm still not 100% sure what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I have to work that night. She lives out in Murfreesboro, so it's
Oh man, that's a bummer.
it's a bit of a hike to do that
Yeah.
and then turn around and go into work.
Do you get a good fireworks show at your house? Can you see the fireworks from Nashville from your house? Because I mean, you're not too far from it. I mean,
I don't know. I think we can hear them, but I don't know if we can see them. Just because of the way our house is, there's a lot of trees around it.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
that's true.
But I mean, if there were no trees, I kind of live at the top of a hill. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's why I was asking. I mean, and those fireworks in Nashville are huge. I mean,
this year it's going to be the biggest fireworks thing in the nation.
Well, yeah, I mean, last couple of years they were ranked very high up anyway. So this year's number one. Wow, USA, US number one. Look, I don't want to run down fireworks. Okay, I don't love them as much as the next person. I just feel that I've seen fireworks. I don't feel I can see anything that's going to blow my mind at this point. I mean, I still enjoy them, but I'm not like a fanatic like some people. I don't know what your thoughts are on fireworks.
I mean, I like them.
Yeah.
I like when, like, last year, well, the last few years, since we've been doing this with my sister, I would plan out ahead of time which fireworks I was buying.
Okay.
So I would kind of set up a show, and I'd buy extra like fuse wire.
Okay.
And I'd kind of like tie the wires together and rig it up so it's just one light and go.
Okay.
And so I mean, yeah, I like my fireworks.
Okay. So you are a fan. So.
Yeah, you can, like, if you know the name of the firework, you can find it. Someone took a picture of it, or like a video of it, so you can see what fireworks look like and how long they last. And I would plan out the fireworks show. And the ones I'd spend like between $100 and $200 on
That's
fireworks.
That's not bad. That's not.
And that would produce like an 8-minute show.
Right. Yeah. I mean, some people go nuts.
Yeah.
Some people go in the thousands, but I think 200's a reason. Yeah,
I mean, they've got cases that cost $1,000 at the fireworks store.
Okay.
Like one case of fireworks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who's buying that?
Big, probably people out where I live, truthfully. I mean, I don't know, but Rusty's in the chat, says apparently he'll be in Nashville this weekend like an idiot. And he said John is a pyro. So.
I might be.
Maybe. Who knows? I have not purchased fireworks in probably, I couldn't tell you when. Yeah. That long ago. I either used to go to people's houses that bought them, or like I said, I went downtown a lot of the time. So I don't know. It's as we as society, we kind of become more woke, as they say. I don't know, man. I don't know how, people love to see things blow up, but the 4th of July, independence from Britain, I get it. It's obviously for the basis and genesis of this country. It's a very important holiday, but I just feel it's a lot like every other holiday. Christmas, it's been turned into something that I think that
a cash grab.
Yes, that it wasn't initially maybe meant for. So I don't know, but it's still a nice day. I mean, it's a nice day to get out and grill out, spend time with friends and family, and then watch fireworks, if that's your thing. So, well, good. I don't know. Hopefully your 4th of July will work out. Next week, I'll be in Chicago. We're going to Chicago. So there won't be a show next week. So I will have to come back next week after that and ask you what you did. So, but yeah, going to Chicago for the family vacation. Very excited. Never been to Chicago. It's one of my favorite cities in theory. Like everything I've read about it, I love. I love everything I've seen, the sights. A lot of movies were shot there. Great food. So baseball, I'm going to go see a Cubs game. So very much looking forward to it. So there we go. All right. Well, let's just go ahead and get to news because, man, there are 2 huge stories this week. And we'll just start with the biggest one. I mean, there's no way you can do a podcast this week and not talk about Mr. Cosby, Mr. Pudding Pop, Mr. Huxtable was
Jell. Oh no,
was released from jail. It was released from jail. Pretty much
It seems like it came out of nowhere too.
Oh, it definitely seemed like it came out.
I was under the impression I was like, okay, this guy's gonna die in jail.
Yes, you could probably bet on him dying in jail, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he does not look well anyway. Like on the screen right here, this is a picture of him as he is released out of jail, and he does not look well. I mean, and he is older. Whether he was in jail or not, he wasn't going to probably look that great. But man, there's so much to unpack here. So to explain it, it's almost like I've read many articles about it because I'm like, what happened essentially? I mean, what happened essentially, the poor man's version of what I can say, I don't know if you know or not, but they allowed some testimony in his trial that the lower courts said, oh, that's fine. I guess from what I understand, the person that was testifying against him, they allowed other people where he was never convicted for those sexual assaults, they allowed them to testify. So the higher court says that tainted the testimony and that he did not receive a fair trial, and so he should be let go out of prison. Now, this is nuts to me. I've watched many documentaries on Netflix. I just say Netflix because they have a lot of them, but name the streaming service. I've watched these documentaries where I'm looking at the screen. I'm not talking making a murder. I'm not talking about ones where you're like, maybe this guy did do it. I'm talking ones where for a fact this person is innocent. I watched one just the other day.
Innocent or guilty?
Oh, innocent. This dude was one. I mean, dude, you watched the beginning. You knew this dude was innocent. It took 15 to 20 years for this guy to get out of jail, man. I was like, what? Like, it was basically, they arrested him for murder. A guy said he was with him when they did it. That guy comes out after the trial and said, no, he actually was never with me. They found that the prosecutor had went to witnesses and pretty much coerced them into like, you better give us his testimony, or that thing in your past, that'd be a shame if your probation was revoked. I watched the documentary and I was like, what is happening right now, dude? It was called I forget, it's something Dream. It's anyways, I watched the documentary going, wow, I guess even if you're innocent in America, you're screwed. Like, you're going to serve like 20 years.
Yeah.
This dude served 3 years of a 3 to 10 year sentence, and he's out on the streets today. And I don't know that you're going to meet many people that think this man's innocent. Now, I know his co-star on the Cosby Show. What's her name?
Which one?
Rashid.
Felicia Rashad?
Yes, thank you. She sent out a tweet going, oh, he's innocent. I'm like, dude, good luck finding many people that think this dude is innocent. This dude is guilty as they come.
I mean, my thing is I don't know where he went to prison. I imagine it's not like your regular everyday prison.
Probably not.
And so his life now, out of prison, how much different is it going to be than him being in a cushy prison?
I honestly believe, and write this down if you want to. I think he's going to get out there and start performing again. I really do. I really believe he will be making performances after this.
Who's going to touch him?
Dude, people are going to go to, this is 2021. People are going to go see it just to say they were at the show. Dude, O.J. Simpson goes around the country and gets autographs from people. We know that dude killed those people. Like, you couldn't really, a sane person today, you couldn't find one that said OJ's innocent. Honestly, there's no, like, there's a conspiracy theory people that say he's innocent, but like the average person with an average brain is like, no, that dude's guilty. Yeah. He goes around the country making money for autographs. Now, would you want OJ Simpson's autograph? I would not. I mean, and I know that's a little bit before our time, but still, we were very familiar with O.J. Simpson growing up. I mean, he's in the freaking Naked Gun movies, Yeah. So people will go see Cosby if he performs just because they will want to be there to see it. They'll go, oh, I went and saw Cosby. I guarantee you, man. It's crazy to think. Like, would I go see it? 0% chance. 0% chance. If someone gave me a ticket, the only way I would go, if a news agency hired us, this podcast, and go, we want you to go report on the show, I would go do it then. That'd be the only way I'd go do it. I think this is a slap in the face to every woman that stepped forward, and people wonder why more rape victims don't come forward because of this right here. This is not one woman that said, it's not two, it's not three, it's 30 plus women. I've listened to podcasts about it. I've read about it. This dude is guilty as a pattern of doing it to women. He did the same thing over and over again. There's voicemails where he's calling the parents going, well, how can we make this go away? Could I pay you? Now, why would you say that if you weren't guilty? I've always said that, like, you're paying people off because you're innocent. I don't know about that. That's a little bit suspect. it's a slap in the face. And look, I've read other articles where it's like, hey, this is the justice system. This is how it works. And I do get that. I understand that. If they did determine that testimony shouldn't have been used, that would be a misstep, I would say, by the prosecution, misstep by the court for even allowing it. But this is a system we live in where, one judge makes a decision, another one can agree, and then the top one says no. It's reversed. It's rare it happens, but it does happen. What can you do, though? I mean, not much you can do. He's a free man. They've essentially overturned the conviction where it's kind of gray area whether he's still guilty or not, but if they overturn the conviction, then, I mean, I would argue he's innocent, legally speaking. Obviously in the real world, guilty. Rusty says justice is not moral. And I would agree with that. It is. It is a system. We put our faith in the system. Does it work all the time? We know it does not.
Apparently not.
But all that being said, and I'm not, dude, screw that guy. They should have just offed him in jail. I know people, you can't ask for martial law, but, on the scale of scumbags in America, pedophiles, number one. Like, those are the most scourge of the earth, right? Everyone agrees on. No, you're not going to find me. Pedophiles, pedophiles, animal abusers, child abusers, rapists, and then murderers. That's like your devil's row of people. And he's on that list, so how long has he got to live? I don't know. The guy may live another 10 years. He may die next week, but I'm more outraged about it's a slap in the face to women everywhere. Yes. It sends why do women not want to step up? Okay.
It almost sets a negative precedent.
Well, look at Kobe Bryant. Look, I love Kobe Bryant as a player. I loved him. He was one of my favorite NBA players that ever played the game. But the rape case with him was very questionable. Like, reading it, you're like, I don't know, man. If I was on a jury and just reading, I've read, because I was a huge Kobe fan, and I really got into depth of reading these things. I went, I would probably find this guy guilty, man. I mean, there's enough there. Why do women not step forward? Because of that. Because of stuff like that. And they get on the stand, they start asking you 1,000 questions about your sex life, your personal life, your everything. They're just like, I just don't know, man. It's weird. It's a weird decision, especially when we're sitting in the era. When we talked about this last week, we had Britney Spears movement, where Britney Spears is the Free Britney movement, right? And so this past week she got in front of the judge and said, hey, I don't want to be under this conservatorship anymore. I want out. I don't want to be in front of it. And then the judge comes out and ruled today that she's still going to remain under it for now. Now the kick of that, everyone's upset about that. And I get it. And the big meme joke is we asked for Free Britney, not Free Cosby, But what happened on that, and it speaks to this, and I want to read this. It says, a judge has shot down Britney Spears' request to have her father remove her conservatorship, at least for now. New court documents that were filed by the Los Angeles Superior Court on Wednesday showed the judge has denied a months-old request. Now, that's important to remember. It says these documents are not in direct response to last week's hearing where Spears gave her testimony, because the judge cannot make any ruling based on what she said, as Britney Spears, is still yet to file a petition to terminate her conservatorship. So you got to really keep that in mind. The judge was not ruling on those statements she's made because she has not filed a petition to be released. He's going on the past documentation. Whatever, I don't even know what the past documentation is, but he's ruling on that. So I know people are upset. And this is one of those weird times in America where you look at the scales going, wait a minute now. This dude's out and this girl can't even get her own money back. It's not a good look. Yeah. It's not a good look. And I don't know what's going to happen with Britney Spears. Is she ever going to be free? I don't know, man. It's a weird story. That
doesn't mean it's a messed up story. And how old is she now? Like 38?
Yeah, she's
something like
around
that.
Yeah.
It baffles me.
I keep saying it's insane. I can't even explain it to people. Like, if someone stepped forward and knew nothing of the story, I would be like, I don't really have, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't even know what to say. This woman who, by all accounts, ditzy, maybe, bad taste in men, definitely. insane enough not to have her own money? That's a stretch, man. Like, we've all met women that had bad taste in men. Oh, I've met many. Younger days, some of them liked me. But look, the point is, that
is in the
the pudding. Good one. But that's not the. It's I don't know, man. I can't wrap my head around it. And I feel for this woman who has stepped forward in a court last week, and we talked about it, and said, "I want out." That should be enough. Like, you're out.
I mean, if she was using the money to like stockpile guns or
right.
I mean, you know what? You might have a point there, but I mean, if she's using the money to fly out a boyfriend or something,
right?
Whatever.
That's you're allowed to do that. We know many people, and everyone knows someone who's with a bad partner who's probably with them a lot for the money and the convenience and a house and all that. And you're like looking at them going, really? But that's America. Like, we don't walk in and say, you can't spend money on this D-bag you're with. That's just, so I think that's the kick of it all, is that it's the weird balance of it. Like, we're in a society where Bill Cosby is walking free and Britney Spears is still a slave to whatever system and Rusty says it right. It's about money. People are like, why is Cosby free? And someone, I think Raquel Red wrote, I tweeted about it. I was like, what the F is going on here? And Raquel Red said, because he's black. I would disagree. It's because he's rich. It's because he has money. Yeah. And we all know O.J. Simpson. I mean, there's many others. You have enough money, generally you're going to get away with the crime. You can hire better lawyers. You can file more motions. You can do this. That is the broken part of our system. And the scary thing is, we probably have the best system in the world, and it's still flawed. I just don't, it's kind of a bummer, truthfully, that's the world we live in. But we lived in a past year where all kinds of crazy things were happening. Coronavirus, which seems to be coming back with different variants now. Yeah. Where the CDC is going, maybe you guys shouldn't have thrown those masks away. Now, you still wear a mask at work, right? Yeah. Now, is this because you're forced to? Or?
No, if you, and our policy now is following the district's policy, which is if you are vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask.
Okay.
So,
but you still wear yours?
I still wear mine. Most of the people I work with are still wearing theirs.
Okay. And I work in a building where it's basically, if you want to wear one, you can, but no, like it's the point where the people wearing the mask, you're like, whoa, you're still wearing a mask. And I don't know if they're vaccinated or not. I'm not a person that goes up to people and go, are you fully vaccinated? Like, I'm just going to be like, no, I'm not having that conversation with people, because I just feel like it's not going to go well. Like, like, it's just not going to go well.
I don't ask anybody.
Right. I mean, it's almost asking like religion at this point. Like, just don't ask it. It's almost kind of point of politics. Don't ask it, because
technically, they don't have to answer you because of HIPAA laws.
Right.
Yeah.
But apparently the strains are coming back. So CDC's like, maybe you need to start wearing masks again. And so places are starting to put mask mandate. And I'll say this, any business that wants me to wear a mask, I will wear a mask. I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to pull a Ricky Schroeder. I'm not going to push you around and yell at you. If you want me to wear it and you feel that keeps your employees safe and your business safe, I will gladly wear it. But at the same time, if you're telling me no, and the whole point of, I thought of us getting vaccinated was to kind of end this. Now, have enough people gotten vaccinated? I don't know. I don't know what the percentages are at this point. I know they're not. I think Biden's administration wanted more than what's happening now. But I've said, unless you start offering these people like thousands of dollars, even then, they're not going to get vaccinated. The people that have hunkered down and said, I'm not doing it, are not going to do it. Yeah. My wife and my 13-year-old son just got their second shot last week. And I was like, all right, that's awesome. But, on that, kids understand. I've always said, if you don't feel comfortable vaccinating your teenage child, I understand that. Like, that's, you as a person, you got to do what you got to do. But with children, there's always that emotional aspect. I understand it. Look, I'm not, that's a debate for another day. But the people that haven't gotten it aren't going to get it. And the people that have. So that's kind of where we're at. And I hope this variant doesn't come forth and just start killing more people. It's kind of scary to think about.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, there was a big, massive building thing in Florida. They basically
the
apartment building
timeshare thing, yeah,
fell down and killed like probably hundreds of people. I mean, they're still looking for bodies. And that's just to say, you cannot trust developers or owners of building to do the right things. They said that building had been cited by the health department. Like, you need to fix these things. And I just think, wow, that's got to weigh heavy on that person who didn't do that. I mean, maybe I would hope it does. Maybe it doesn't. Yeah. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they're like, oh, well, you know. But, you know, just honestly, condolences to all those people involved, because that would be frightening. I mean, the first day they found a child who was just there by themselves, parents dead, you know, and you just got to think about like that, humanize it. And it's just, you know, we live in a world where that kind of things happen. You know, if it's not mass shootings, it's buildings now are just dropping, you know, and killing multiple people. So, wow. Condolences go to them. To bring it to a more positive note, I did want to just real quick, I recorded some things with Ender Bowen, our friend who was on the show just a couple weeks ago. He is promoting his new album, The Art of Tactful Procrastination. Pre-sales have started on that. So if you want to pre-order the album, that would help a lot, especially with the indie artists. You know, every little sale helps. But I recorded a couple of things with him. I think he's going to release them over the next couple of weeks. But I just want to remind you that if you liked his music or if you like supporting people, go follow him. You can go to his website, enderbowen.com, and pre-order that album. I've heard the entire album. I like it a lot. And now he had sent me a couple of remixes, B-sides, and one of the remixes, he raps on it. And it was great, man. It was fantastic. Because you're like, anytime you hear that, you're like, uh-oh. Now, because people don't know, John, in our former band, would add a song where we rapped, and unfortunately John's never going to release that, but I thought it was a great rap. I do. I still quote it from time to time, even though it's not very PC anymore. No. But
back then it probably wasn't very PC.
No, at the time it totally was. And honestly, if you do a deep dive into rap, current or past, there's still not. It was
when I was writing it, it was in my intention almost like a parody of rap.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I understood that. Yes. I mean, it was talking about women and derogatory terms and things like that. But, I mean, hip-hop still does that today. Yeah. And I've wondered, like, how did they get a pass?
The thing is like, hip-hop does it. I mean, the women are doing it to themselves.
Yeah, that's true. It's weird that.
And it's just like, that's empowering?
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love hip-hop. And I think if we as a society are cool with that, which I think we should be, I've always said art to some degree should not be criticized as heavily as it is for societal messages. I think that's ridiculous. You know, I think even movies, music, they're movies, you know. But that to be say, anytime an artist raps outside their thing and they pull it off, I think, and I told John pulled it off from the band. I liked the song. I mean, I liked playing it. But Ender, it's good. It's very good. It's actually very good. He does a lot of cool things with his voice and instrumentation and things like that. So that's to say, pre-order the album if you can, enderbowen.com. Go check that out. And that brings us to our Mount Rushmore of the week. So we got a tweet. We said, hey man, if you guys want us to do a Mount Rushmore, you let us know what you want the subject to be. And we actually got another one this week, which I'll try to find before the end of the show. But Adam said he's been listening to a lot of Buckethead. If you know who Buckethead is, he's a guitar player who, well, he puts a KFC bucket on top of his head. That's like his mask. And he is a good guitar player. I'm not knocking him. And he was in Guns N' Roses, the reboot. He does solo things. He's been in a couple bands. He's a talented guy, obviously. He wanted us to do the best guitar players. And I don't know how we're going to phrase this. This is Mount Rushmore of guitar players is what I'm going to call it. Now, how have you approached this list?
I'll be honest. Once you mentioned it, I had 4 people that popped up at the top of my head.
Okay. Yeah,
immediately.
For sure. Right.
And after researching, there are others that are better.
Right.
But I still would choose these same people.
Okay.
Because I want to fit more genres in.
Okay.
And there's certain aspects of originality and talent that are synonymous with these people.
Okay.
That
I like it.
Whether or not they are the best, they're the most very influential and kind of the gift that keeps on giving when it comes to guitar.
I like that. Yeah, because I mean, So I sent out a tweet earlier and said we were doing it, and our friend Brooke Jolly was like, well, you better have this person, this person. I'm like, well, dude, it's not, we're not listing the best guitar players of all time. Like, I don't like noodlers. Like, I call them noodlers, like Joe Satriani, Steve Vai. Those people are never going to make my list because I don't like that.
I purposely did not go for any shredders.
Right.
On mine.
Because I want people that obviously, like you say, influence the genre. So I'm going to try to hit, and we'll say, I don't know who you've got on your list, but I have an idea. I'm going to try to hit 4 different generations of guitar players. We'll see.
There's only 2 people I'm really worried about you stealing.
Yeah, well, you're going first this week, and the number one's very obvious.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I almost didn't write it down on my list.
Almost synonymous.
I mean, well, he's on the freaking screen. He's the largest one on the screen. Yeah. So yes, but yeah, so it's not, like I said, it's not necessarily the most technically proficient guitar player. Like John said, it's who shaped, who was influential, who was, the next generation, so-and-so. So I'm very excited. I love music, so it's going to be fun to get to this. So, John, that being said, who's number 1 on your Mount Rushmore?
Gee, I wonder.
Who could it be?
Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix has to be number 1 on every list. If you're talking best guitar players, I think he's there.
Yeah.
I think if you say most influential guitar players, he's number there. 1. Yeah. His skill set was unbelievable. When you look at the time frame he was in, when you look at the things he was doing with his guitar, when you look at people would show up to his shows just to watch him play as another guitar player who will make the list. People were going there to steal his bits, man. They were like, what is he doing? How is he making those sounds, And you go to any of his songs, but I think, All Along the Watchtower is one of those where it's just oh my God.
And the thing is like a lot of people don't know this. He's left-handed.
Mm-hmm.
He played left-handed, but he didn't redo the strings. The low string was on the bottom instead of being on the top, which is the natural way, the easier way to play.
Yes.
So, on top of all that, he strings the guitar differently, and also he sings.
Yeah, and he was always self-conscious about his voice, which is kind of funny.
And the thing is, I can be critical when it comes to singers. I'm not critical when it comes to his voice. Is he the best singer on the planet? No, but the vibe of the song, his vocal, he's hitting every mark.
Right. Yeah.
For what he was doing, I wouldn't change a thing.
Right. No,
his vocals compared to his guitar playing is just, it might as well be a 1.
Right.
Because of how great he was.
Yes, it's true, yes.
On guitar.
Yeah.
And so, if you're going to say guitar god, then he's the one that fits the bill.
Yeah, he's it. He died at 27. What would that guy have done there's no telling. There's literally no telling what he would have done. That's what's crazy. All right. Obviously, great pick. It has to be. So I'm gonna pick another guy I feel that changed. So my first, I'm going eras here. I'm gonna pick a guy that changed the game when he came out. He was one where he was doing things with his guitar never been done before. He had style on stage. He was writing great, catchy songs. I got to go with the 1980s, Eddie Van Halen. This guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Once again, people were going to his shows and trying to see like Eruption. That's insane. The things he was doing on that guitar solo is insanity. Like, he's making his guitar make noises like you've never heard before. So there was a documentary that came out. It was called It Might Get Loud. It starred Jimmy Page.
The Edge. And
The Edge, yes. Jack White.
And Jack White.
And I thought the biggest mistake of that documentary, it's a good documentary. If you like guitar playing, you like music, it's good, but they got to throw Edge out and put Eddie Van Halen in. I thought that was a travesty.
I think Eddie Van Halen, by far, not by a little bit, but by far is way better than Edge as a guitar player. But I agree with them putting him on there because the reason why they put Edge on there was,
I know what you're gonna say,
because of what he did electronically.
Man,
with
it ain't about electronic. That documentary.
It was called It Might Get Loud.
But that documentary could have literally been spanning the generations of great guitar players. You had someone from the '60s, someone from the '80s, someone from the 2000s. That could have been the story of the whole thing. They have a scene where they're jamming, and I'm like, get Edge out of there. He does not belong to sit on a stage with Jimmy Page and Jack White, dude. And those people might come up later on my list. What I'm saying, I shouldn't have probably told you that documentary. But the point is, travesty. And noodle with effects. Dude, come on. This is a documentary about guitar playing. And I love, hey,
I
do I like
think
The
it was
Edge?
just about guitar playing. I think it was about guitars.
Did you watch it?
Yes, I did.
Well,
I loved it. It was great.
I felt more as about guitar players.
Because they had the niche. I think when it came to talent, it was about Jimmy Page. When it came to the electronics and what you could get out of combining the actual guitar and the electronics in the guitar with the amps.
You're not going to sell me on this. I understand what you're saying.
When it comes to
that new
the actual,
generation,
not even a generation, I think, because Jack White has taken trees out of his yard and built guitars out of it. He's taken banisters from stair rails and made a guitar out of it. And so I think that the construction of guitar was about him.
There's just some very douchey scenes with The Edge in this movie.
I agree.
I mean, he's playing out on the beach. I'm like, bro, what? No one does that. You do not take your guitar rig out onto the beach. It doesn't even make any sense. Where are you getting the power from, dude? You're saying you're pulling an extension cord out to the beach to play next to the waves. Get out. Okay, anyway, it might get loud. Rusty, I don't know where the doc's at. It was on Netflix for a while. I did love the doc, though.
It was a great documentary.
Okay. Anyways, Eddie Van Halen. Number one.
I agree. It's great.
Okay, number two, you should say The Edge. Just where I quit the show. I quit.
I'm not going to say The Edge.
Okay.
I'm going to go kick it back.
Okay.
1950s.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of people that I wanted to
I'm
put on this list.
I'm curious now. Okay.
There's a lot of people I wanted to put on this list. But I could not put those people on this list because of this person. Some of those people would include Angus Young.
Okay.
Brian May.
Okay.
But both of those people were heavily, 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 especially if you watch their stage performances, by this guy, Chuck Berry.
You've got to. He's got to be on the list. And when you speak influence, I don't know as much as Jimi Hendrix was an alien. I mean, he was not of this earth, okay?
Yeah.
As much as Eddie Van Halen was a guy who sat down and played for 12 to 14 hours every day as a child and just got this discipline, no one has influenced more in rock and roll than Chuck Berry.
Yeah.
Zero. The Beatles were just ripping off Chuck Berry. Everyone in that generation, the man, yes, he was a performer. But he's a great guitar player. And I'm glad you had him on there.
I mean, the things he did with the guitar were just phenomenal. And then like that famous walk that Angus Young does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's Chuck Berry.
Yeah, 100% it's Chuck Berry.
He did that.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, he's just...
Yeah, Chuck Berry is underrated by society. 100%.
Yes.
I mean...
I think he is the true father of rock and roll.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I think the thing that kills him is like one of his big singles...
My Ding-a-Ling.
My Ding-a-Ling. And you're just like, bro, I get it. I mean, at the time you had to... Man, I think people hear that and they're like, yeah, it's a funny... We used to hear that song every time we went bowling. Every time we went bowling, somebody would play that on the karaoke machine. Because it's minus the lyrics, it's a dope song. But man, the lyrics are just like so dumb. But
a lot of times I think he was just trying to get stuff out there.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
think of the time as well. I mean, this was a different time in America, you know. Anyways, but yes, that's a great. Anything about Chuck Berry besides? I mean, really, if you're listening Chuck Berry, you really should be listing Michael J. Fox because he's the one that gave him. No, can you, dude?
I just want to know whatever happened to Marvin Berry, his cousin.
I know that scene,
the one that he doesn't even know. He had to explain.
I know.
Hey, it's your cousin, Marvin Berry.
He's like, who? I think that scene. I know it's funny and it's a great comedic moment, but it's almost a slap in the face to Chuck Berry, where it's just like, oh, yeah, the only reason Chuck Berry...
that new sound you looking for?
He got his sound from a white man. Really think about that, man. It's almost like, whoa, bro. I don't know if you could make that movie today, but anyway. But there are some people who watch that movie and say, actually, by the time Michael J. Fox gets done with the music, Chuck Berry wouldn't have heard anything he actually played because that's when he started playing all that. So there's a big debate about it online. I love Back to the Future. But anyway, okay. All right, so that's your number 2, Chuck Berry. Good choice. All right, I'm going to go back to the 60s and 70s. And, I mean, when I think of riff masters, when I think of people that just changed
I'm a little
what
scared.
rock and roll is. I mean, I've already mentioned this guy. So, I think that this almost a sloppiness to his guitar playing, but just, man, the riff masters, what I would say. But I'm Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin, Yardbirds. When you think of Led Zeppelin, I always said if you had to pick a group of the best musicians to be in a current band, I would probably just pick everybody from Led Zeppelin and go, there you go. There's your super group right there. I mean, Bonham on drums, John Paul Jones on bass, Jimmy Page on guitar, and then Robert Plant on vocals. I mean, that's a dream team. But Jimmy Page, go back. Led Zeppelin's one of those bands, any song of theirs comes on the radio, you're in. Like, you're in because of those riffs, man. Yeah. I mean, some of the great, obviously, Stairway to Heaven. Kashmir. I mean, all of the great hits. Just pick any of their albums. They're all great. But I think he was very influential in arena rock and how it moved forward in society and just what he did in the studio and how, like I said, he wasn't like a Jeff Beck or someone like that where every note had to be clean. There's solos where you're like, oh, dude, you missed like 3 notes, but that's rock and roll. And that's what I loved about his spirit. And I just think any young guitar player, I mean, you look at a band like Greta Van Fleet, I mean, they looked at him and said, that's what we want to sound like, So I love Jimmy Page, can do no wrong. So Jimmy Page, my number, as a guitar player. His personal life, a little bit suspect. But anyway, Jimmy Page.
I think a lot of these people would kind of fit in that.
Probably all of ours so far. But okay, yes, Jimmy Page, my number 2.
That's an excellent pick.
All right, your number 3.
My number 3. There are 2 songs when someone says, what's the best guitar opener of a song, period.
Okay.
One of them is Sweet Child of Mine.
Okay. Huh.
The other one, I would have to say, is Layla.
And
a lot of people think I'm going to say one person, but actually the person that wrote that lick was Duane Allman.
Oh, look, John with the deep cut, man. Duane Allman. Now, he was in...
obviously, the Allman Brothers.
Yes.
But he was on Derek and the Dominoes.
Yes, okay.
And I don't know if he was a full-time with the Yardbirds, but he...
Right, he's associated with them for sure. Yeah, that's a good pick, man. Duane Allman was probably very influential to a lot of those rockers. I mean, when Eric Clapton, most lists, Eric Clapton is way up there.
I think most of them that I saw, he was number 2.
Number 2, or at least in the top 5. You know, when he's calling in Duane Allman say, hey, man, I need you to come in here and play it. That's a huge testament to him. Yeah. So, wow.
If you were to take him, I would have gone with Eric Clapton.
I just can't go with Eric Clapton. I just can't do it, man. I can't do it. I can't do it. Okay. All right. Any more thoughts? That's a good one. Duane, I never, that wasn't even on my list. So it's very good. Okay. I'm going to go with my number 3. And I think of someone who, 70s, kind of 80s. I'm more into stuff from the 70s, obviously, but this is one of my favorite guitar players. Psychedelic rock, but just his tone, and I think it's a band that everyone almost likes. I haven't met many people that don't, but David Gilmour, Pink Floyd.
Definitely.
When I listen to Comfortably Numb, that is probably my favorite guitar solo of all time.
There's like a clean quirkiness to that's the only way I can describe it.
No, it's
to his playing.
Just listen to his songs, man. I mean, I'm telling you, Comfortably Numb, I will listen to that.
It's one of the greatest songs ever.
Oh, this solo it rips, man. The tone he has, the control. It's not a. It's just like this. It captures the mood.
Flowing.
Yes, it's what you need a song to be. I mean, then think about all their songs, man. Another Brick in the Wall, just like the little disco guitar riff going on. I mean, that's not to say anything about, the entire Dark Side of the Moon or Wish You Were Here. I mean, the guy was just on fire. And I feel I know, what's the dude's name? Roger. Anyways, the lead singer, a lot of people want to give him credit, but man, I think David Gilmour had a lot more to do with their success than anyone ever gives him credit for. And when I list my favorite guitar players, he's always up there. But I think, like I said, I got 60s in the 70s, 70s in the 80s, and I got the 80s going. So I'm kind of going for the theme there. But Gilmour is he's phenomenal. He's one of my favorites. If I could sound like that, I would just play music nonstop. I would never stop. So that's my number 3, David Gilmour.
All right.
All right. We've come up to your last choice, John.
I knew I was going to be safe with this one.
Okay.
I knew you weren't going to go anywhere near this guy.
John Mayer. That was in the chat. I'll just say it.
He's an awesome guitar player.
He's a good guitar player. I know he gets a lot of crap, but I would want to hang out with John Mayer. Number one, I think he hangs out with Chappelle all the time.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay, go ahead.
But I'm going to go with the guy who's still playing out today.
Okay.
Very famous, but it's a genre that you don't think awesome guitar players when you just think of storytelling when it comes to this genre. So I'm going to country, and I'm going to go with Brad Paisley.
Brad Paisley is a very good guitar player, actually. Yeah, I don't think he probably gets enough
I went
credit.
back and forth between him and Chet Atkins. I wanted to represent that
country
that genre.
Yeah, no, it does not get enough love, man.
And I mean, I know Brad Paisley wouldn't be Brad Paisley if it wasn't for Chet Atkins.
Yeah.
And I mean, Chet Atkins was primarily known for guitar.
Yes, oh yeah.
But
phenom. I
think that Brad Paisley kind of brought things up to that next level.
Yeah.
And so that's why I picked him over Chet Atkins. I've been to a Brad Paisley concert. I've seen him do some amazing stuff, and I was blown away.
Yeah, no, I've heard. Here's how you know he's good. We were in a band. We knew a lot of musicians. His name would come up all of the time, going, "You know who's really good?" And I'm like, Brad Paisley. The first time I was like, Brad Paisley, what? And then I heard it again. And then again, I went, oh, okay, no, this dude's, if these guitar players are telling me he's good, he's good. So, yes, that's definitely, yeah. And it's good that country gets represented.
Yeah.
It's not a genre that most people think of, but there is some great playing that can be found in it, you know. All right, well, that's a good choice. All right, so my last one, obviously, I've already mentioned the guy, but I was a diehard fanatic of this guy. I was in love with this guy. I mean, boy, take that clip out of context. But anyways, I wanted my whole world to be around his sound, but it's Jack White, the White Stripes, of the Raconteurs, of Dead Weather, of Jack White. And this guy, if you've never, like, you know, if you say White Stripes isn't my thing or this or that, pull your head out of your butt, dude. Go listen to his, I mean, he is just revolutionary with the stuff he's doing with guitar. And a lot of people look at their first major debut album, and there isn't a lot of shredding on that album because it was a conscious effort to sound more garage rock, and there weren't many solos. But everything after that, and that's a great album. And like I said, I don't think you need a great solo to be great as a guitar player. I think it's the tone, it's the riffs, it's the sound, it's the spacing. But when he goes into Elephant and when he goes into the albums after that, he's doing some things that are sick, man. I mean, there's one song called Black Math on Elephant, and he is shredding. So, you know he can shred. And I like when to do that. Like, even like Rivers Cuomo of Weezer, you don't think that guy can shred until you hear him shred, and you're like, oh, my God, this guy can shred.
When we started our first band, we were talking about doing a few covers here and there. And one cover that came up was Surf Wax America. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. I was like, well,
I can't do this.
He can't do that. It ain't happening. No, he's a talented guy, and I think a lot of people of that generation, Rivers Cuomo, Jack White, even some grunge guys, I don't think they get quite the credit because we're looking at Jimi Hendrix. It's kind of like this. Well, can he play as good as Hendrix? Now, Jack White probably can play as good as Jimi Hendrix. Close, you know. I'm not saying he is Jimi Hendrix, but he could definitely play his songs. But I just think he's revolutionary. I think he really was probably the last, and I'm saying popular. I know people go, oh, what about this guy? I'm talking popular guitar hero. Jack White's the only one I can think of that's mainstream popular. I'm sure, I'm sure we're going to get hate over this one, man. I know people.
It's impossible not to get hate.
I know.
On this, but
oh, you didn't mention, what's that one? Yang Mi Malstein or whatever that dude's name. Dude, get that crap out of my face, man. And I'm not listing, like I said, I didn't list a lot of hair metal. I know probably upset people, but Jack White, when we started the band, I was just trying to play Jack White songs, truthfully, off of White Blood Cells. I listened to White Blood Cells. I was like, I just want my band to sound like that. So a lot of our stuff, it sounded like a dude who couldn't play trying to sound like Jack White. So that's how I always looked at it. So yeah, okay. So we'll get into other people we missed, but I'm just going to go over our list real quick. John had Jimi Hendrix, Chuck Berry, Dwayne Allman, Brad Paisley. I had Eddie Van Halen, Jimmy Page, David Gilmour, and Jack White. I would have loved to include it, Stevie Ray Vaughan, but I think if you get Jimi Hendrix, that kind of knocks off. Brian May, who you mentioned, Eric Clapton. I mean, you know, if he wouldn't have been mentioned, I might have thought about it. Angus Young, who you also mentioned, who I just love. Prince.
Prince is an amazing guitarist.
And it was either going to be Prince or David Gilmour. I really had to make a decision there, but I went David Gilmour. But Prince, if you don't think that dude can play, just put on Purple Rain. That's all you need. You need one album, just put on Purple Rain, dude.
The thing is, we saw when his Musicology tour came out, we went to go see.
God, it was so good.
We didn't get to see him live, but we got to see
a live concert. Yeah,
they produced it to where you could watch it in theaters.
Yeah,
and so that's how we watched it. This guy was playing guitar, not missing a daggum beat, but doing dance moves like Michael Jackson and Usher combined
in 6-inch heels.
And 6-inch heels.
It was insane.
And a weird ass shaped guitar.
A terrible guitar. There's no way any regular dude plays that guitar and it sounds good. I've thought about this. I was like, dude, there's no way that guitar's good. Like any guitar player could probably pick up a Les Paul Gibson and it's gonna sound all right. That guitar it's garbage, but he makes it sound like it's from God.
Yes.
So Prince is up there, and I'd be terrible if I did not mention Keith Richards, but. Me already having Jimmy Page, I couldn't put Keith Richards on, but God, I love Keith Richards. Does anybody stood out for you?
Yeah, I mean to mention Brad Paisley, it'd be hard to not mention also like Keith Urban.
I was in the chat from Glenda.
Yeah, he's amazing as well. I still got to give my edge to Brad Paisley.
Yeah, for sure.
Pete Townsend.
Yes, yes, he doesn't get enough love, but he is.
I insinuated Slash.
Yeah. I mean, of the modern era, he's up there for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, there's so many Johnny Winters, Robert Johnson. There's John Lee Hooker.
I'm just gonna screen out. I mean, Frank Zappa could be up there. Ace Frehley is someone who influenced a lot of people. B.B. King, obviously. Yeah. I mean, Buckethead was not going to make the list. Sorry, Adam, but
Neil Young.
Oh yeah, there's some. Yeah, I mean the list goes on. But we're Mount Rushmore. We set our parameters. We did it. So we will be posting this on social media. If you're listening, we hope to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear them. Please, hit us up and let us know who we missed. Like I said, this is one where
go ahead and add us.
Yeah, this is coming strong. Now, I do have a suggestion on Twitter, and I'm just going to throw it out there for you. You said you wanted all the list. Well, we've got a friend of the show, which is Chris. I want to get his name right. Chris McGregor, I believe. He said, can you do the Mount Rushmore of NFL quarterbacks?
So, we're talking all the time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So is that the next one when we get back together? NFL QBs?
I almost want to wait for that for.
Okay, so we'll do that when NFL season rolls around.
Yeah.
But that is on the list. So good. All right, so there we go. Yeah, but no, we want your suggestions on what you guys want to hear about. So please let us do that and send us your suggestions. We will gladly do them. Well, even if it's a subject we don't even know a lot about, I'll do a little research and deep dive. So that's it. That's the Mount Rushmore. Now, are you watching Loki? Yes or no?
I am.
Are you caught up?
I'm caught up. The wife is not.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but my God, I am loving this show. I thought, okay, there's no way I'm going to like this as much as WandaVision. I don't know, man. I think Loki, the character, is so charismatic, and I think he's so likable. And I love Scarlet Witch, but man, it's
there's like so many like people he is wrapped into one.
Yeah.
And they're all like people who are likable.
Right.
And so it's just like.
So you think it's a good show, right?
He makes the show. I'm like, what's he gonna do? We're saying next.
Well, the last episode was insanity. Like each episode's more insane than the last one. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what?
I mean, last episode, I was like, how could they do that?
Yeah, that's what I thought. And I went, but there's a post-credit scene, right?
Mid-credit scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which there hasn't been one before. I hate when they do that. Dude, you got to either go all in or none of those, man, because I almost missed it. I left the room. I was getting ready for bed because watching before I sleep. I left the room and I said, wait a minute. And I ran back in. I went, oh, okay. So I don't know, man. Anyways, well, yeah, Loki, highly suggest people should be watching that. There's a lot of great shows out right now. So there's a lot of, great content to watch, and just do it. And if you have any good shows you're watching, definitely send us something on social media and let us know, because I'm always looking for new shows. So, All right. Well, there you go. That's the end of the episode. We got a lot off of our chest. You guys, hopefully you'll have a great 4th of July. Like I said, we will not be here next week. So maybe you can go check out a, past episode or just take a week off from us. Who knows, whatever you want to do. But, we just ask that you share the show with your friends, share it on social media, repost episodes. And everybody in the chat does that immensely. I mean, honestly, we have the people that do support us are amazing. I just do want to say that. It's not like thousands of people. We're not getting a Spotify deal like Dax Shepard. That's a whole other episode. I don't understand the appeal of that guy. But anyway, we're not going to get a big deal. But the fans we do have, friends, I call them friends. I am fans. Friends that listen to it, we appreciate you a lot. So I just wanted to say that. And, go check us out on the internet, bybpod.com. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/blameyourbrother, where you can be with us when we do the live show. And, if you haven't left us a rating or review, do that. Or just, send us a message every once in a while. Let us know what your thoughts are. Send us your Mount Rushmore. If you need any life advice, send that to us as well. That's all I got. I hope everyone just has a great 4th of July.
Have fun. Be safe.
Yeah, don't blow off a finger like a certain NFL player, John Paul Pierre, that dude played for the Titans, right? He's only got like 3 fingers, dude. So don't be like that guy. That being said, John, all of that. Is there anything else?
Don't blame yourself when you can blame your brother.
Yeah, I was like, wait, well, it's not the board reset, and so